Welcome to another episode of the Limitless Podcast. I'm your host, Dr.TonyHolmes, and today I have a very special guest with me, Mrs. Brooke Hogg, the mental coach. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm good, you know. I just got back from San Antonio yesterday with the family, and so I'm kind of just getting back to it. But other than that, can you tell the people who you are, Miss Hogg?
All right. So, as Dr. Holmes has already mentioned, I go by the mental coach. And so, what I do is I help athletes from all levels understand the importance of mental health as well as mental performance on and off their playing platform. I've worked with and currently still do work with youth athletes, collegiate as well as professional athletes. And so, in addition to that, that's kind of where I started, but I've also kind of pivoted in a sense and kind of just added a little bit more to that. So in addition to helping the athletes, I also support the parents as well. So I have a parent of athletes support group that I host try to do it every quarter, to where I'm also helping parents to understand their role as being a parent of an athlete and what that looks like. Because as parents, you just sometimes don't know what you're kind of stepping into. And so having that support and having those being able to have conversations with parents that are going through that same journey is very helpful, and it's very supportive, and parents can feel like what they're thinking and what they're going through and even questions that they may have, that they're not alone in their journey. And so with that too, I'm also a WNBA agent as well. And so all the things, right?
Yeah.
So I started out, my passion for this hasn't changed, but just the addition of the other roles that I have with it has just, again, been just a super sweet addition to what my passion is. I'm a sports social worker, so I've been in the world of social work for a very long time. And so I'm happy to now be in this world of sports.
Wow. Can we just give a round of applause for that? Just like, period. I mean, just seriously though, like that is so amazing. I have so many questions. I can't wait to dive in with you. Let's start at the beginning of the journey. So take us back to your own life and your connection with sports personally, and just kind of where did it all begin for you?
So I will say for me, I was not an athlete. So I grew up in the world of like arts and music. So I played piano. I was in band all throughout school. My husband always jokes with me because he says band is not a sport. When I got to high school, it was a lot. And I was in marching band. So we were outside with the football players and everybody. So I feel like it was a sport. But nonetheless, that's pretty much what my life looked like as far as that. So as I got older, I watched sports. My grandfather was into sports. He was a huge basketball fan, also an avid Lakers fan. So we watched games here and there together. And from there, it just kind of just never really left me. But I, again, was never, I never played, if that makes sense. And so speeding up, I meet my husband. He's from Dallas. And so we went to a tournament. We went to a Whataburger tournament. And I remember sitting there wondering, like, what is going on? Like, everything was moving fast. The boys were playing. Coaches were, I'm not going to say they were yelling, but they were passionate. You have parents that were passionate. And I'm sitting there like, what is going on? And he's perfectly fine. And I'm just watching everybody around me. People are just upset. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. But more so than that, I started really paying attention to like what these kids were doing and like just looking at like the pace of the game changing and here and there. And these kids were just, I mean, it was a lot. And so I remember asking him like, how do these kids like balance like all of this? Because this is a lot, right? So they have to be concerned with how they play. They have to be very vigilant during the time that they're playing. They have to be ready for anything to happen, right? And then on top of that, they have to follow the direction of their coach, right? And then they have their parents, right? Parents are passionate. They're screaming and feeling like, hey, this call shouldn't have happened. I said, and then on top of that, they're also a person and they're in high school. So like, that's a lot to juggle. And I remember him telling me like, nobody's ever asked me that. So obviously he grew up playing sports, so he was definitely well versed in that world. But I just kind of just started searching and looking for like some things to be able to help kids, right? So we know therapy's been around for a very long time. So that was not what I was looking for, just because I know that trying to talk to kids, let alone an adult, about therapy is still something that is highly stigmatized, and people are just not open to it. And so I thought about looking at more of the mental performance standpoint, like helping kids to be able to understand what it is that they're doing, how they can help themselves. And if it does get to a point to where they should need a therapist, then by all means, do that. But I wanted to be able to find something that they could be more so involved with, and they could be able to, in a sense, kind of holistically be able to identify, okay, where they're struggling. Is it on the court only, or is it on the court and off the court? Because if it's a struggle on the court and out and off the court, then that may mean that you may need a therapist. But if it's just strictly just on the court, maybe a little bit more mental performance. And I didn't find anything. And so I kind of just started looking into doing some things for myself. And so life happened. Had a kid, got married, another kid, got married, and all the things, but it still never left me. Like the passion for it and the thought behind it never left me. And so I just decided one day, you know what? I really want to kind of look more into this and to be able to be the person to provide those services, or just honestly just start the conversation about it. And so that's just kind of how I got here. And each year I feel like something else gets added to, or something else I find is going to make this even better to convey to youth athletes, or just athletes in general, as well as their parents or their networks. So,
wow. Yeah. I think that's incredible, because as a parent of a future athlete, I'm sure, because we're already doing some training and stuff now.
Okay. All right.
I can see where you're going with the mental edge that you get of just kind of having your mental together, as well as, of course, your physical and the training and all the things you do, but also just having that mental edge is super important. Can you talk about the difference you see in athletes that have that mental edge versus those that maybe have not even thought of their mental health as being a part of their whole package as an athlete?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say those that I have worked with that have that understanding of the importance of the mental piece of sports, they tend to be a lot more confident. They tend to be a lot more easy to talk to, not as frustrated when things happen that is beyond their control. And believe it or not, they are able to talk about it. Maybe not so much in that moment, but they're able to talk about it and verbalize a little bit more later. Whereas an athlete that does not know much about it, or maybe just honestly just don't know what they're dealing with, they are very hard to talk to. They're not as confident. They seem to measure who they are as a person to their sport, right? So if they feel like they are struggling in their sport, then they automatically feel like they're a failure, right? And so that is not the case at all. And so those are just a few of the things that I've seen. And so just honestly being able to just talk about it is, I've seen, has been a huge help, because what you don't know, you just don't know. And that's why the parents, as far as the youth athletes, the parents is a vital piece of that, because as you know, honestly, as a culture, and I can speak for me, I did not grow up being told that, or being encouraged to pay attention to what things were for me mentally. It was a matter of dust yourself off, get back up, next play. You're okay. And you're okay because your grandma was okay, or you're okay because this person was okay. People that I didn't even know. And I'm like, okay, all right, I think I can do it, And I found myself smiling through a lot of situations, but inside I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. And then that also created a space for me that I found later wasn't helpful, in that I put up a wall. Like I put up a wall against, or for people that I felt like was trying to talk to me, if that makes sense, or maybe try to help me talk through something.
Yeah.
Because I had took on this, nope, I'm strong, I'm good, I don't need that, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So again, I've just been able to see those differences, and it is super helpful when not only just a youth athlete, but just a person in general can understand what it makes sense of what it is that they may or may not be struggling with.
Wow. So important. Like every piece of that, I can relate to the dust yourself off. You okay? You okay? It's like, well, maybe I'm not okay.
Right.
Right. So powerful. Can you talk about the importance for parents out there who may not have ever thought of mental health and athleticism? Can you talk about the learning curve or just even some things that'll be helpful for parents who are hearing this for the first time to know about their children?
Absolutely. I encourage all parents to talk to your children. I'm looking into this camera because I cannot stress that enough. Talk to your children. These kids they go through a lot, as we all know. We're living in every day. I really don't know what obstacle. I honestly have, what do you call it? I have no, I'm not surprised things at this point. I'm really not surprised when I see certain things. And obviously a lot of it can be disheartening, but most importantly, kids also have that mentality where they feel like they can just handle everything, and they can't, they can't do it by themselves. So that's why I stress the importance of parents talk to your kids. Also understand that your kid is growing up in a different era. Do I understand some of those old the old thoughts and the old words and the old support? Some of those things are still helpful to this day. But at the same time, you do have to, as a parent, make sense of that for your kid and explain to them what it is that you're trying to say. And I can say for me, a lot of things I heard, I didn't understand it, but I would say for me, I grew up during the time where children were seen, not heard. And so a lot of things I didn't ask questions about. I just said, okay, well, if my parent told me, or if my, grandmother told me, then it's the gospel. You know what I mean? And it's not so much to pick that apart today and say, this was wrong, that was wrong. It's just a matter of just, again, making sure that they understand. So talking to them, making sure they understand, and then also too, helping them to understand the importance of advocating for themselves. That is very important in today's world, whether it's in sports, honestly, just in life. They need to know and understand the importance of speaking up and advocating for themselves, and being able to communicate when something just doesn't feel good. I know for sports sometimes, like I think I mentioned earlier, but I'll say it again, some kids don't like to talk about what they're feeling or what a game was to them, especially if they've lost. And I can understand that. But as a parent, understanding that, okay, my kid may not want to talk about it immediately right after the game is over, but maybe they would want to talk about it later on that night, or maybe even the next day. And just remembering as a parent to follow back up with the kid and just your kid and ask them, hey, I just want to follow up from, last night's game, how are you feeling? And as a parent, share with them what you saw. Don't feel like you have to fix everything. And I know as parents, that's hard. That's a hard thing to unlearn. I mean, as a parent, you're going to always be that protector, but you also have to step back. And especially in the world of sports, you do have to step back and allow them to experience the highs and lows of what sports look like for them and what the experience is for them. You can't live it for them. And so communication is key in that. And I do talk about that a lot with the parents that I have in my support group to be able to understand that. And I'm honestly not telling them anything that they don't know. Most times it's a refresher. Most times it's a reminder for them, and things that they've either forgotten because they've gotten in full protector mode of being mom, dad, whomever. And they just want to make sure that they're okay. But guiding your kids through sports and living it for them is two totally different things. And so helping them to understand that you can, you have to guide them. You can't do it for them. You have to guide them. So those are just a few of the things that I would offer.
No, that's awesome. It's like being a coach even within your children, bro, their
Mm-hmm.
lives, but you can't do everything for them.
You
Just like a
can't.
coach can't go on the field and play the game for the kid either. But you got to create that environment. It sounds like at home.
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome. Any techniques would you say for kids out there who are athletes? Like anything they can maybe start doing in the meantime to make their mental health, kind of be even stronger with just like their physical health? Any techniques?
Yeah, absolutely. So paying attention to how they respond within the game. So
Okay.
things like are your palms sweaty?
Mm-hmm.
How are you preparing for your game? Like how are you
Mm-hmm.
preparing for game day? Every athlete is different. Some athletes I found they don't have an actual ritual. They just kind of just get up and go with it.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But you do have some that have nerves, right?
Yeah.
And I talk about being nervous a lot. That's not going to go away. You just have to learn how to manage it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here a little nervous today, but hey, I want to do this. I'm here. And so I've learned to work through it. And so that's what you do have to learn. If this is something that you truly love, you got to face it. You got to face it. And you do have to, again, I go back to that communication piece, like knowing how you feel, knowing what that looks like, being able to describe when you feel like mentally in your game. Like for instance, if you are in a game and let's talk about basketball for an example. So let's say the play has been drawn up and you are out there and you know what you are supposed to be doing, but you seem to do something else, right? First off, let's stop doing that. Let's get out there and do what we're supposed to do, right? Everybody has a role. But at the same time, being able to understand, hey, when I'm out here on the court and I miss a layup, what do I feel in that moment? What are my thoughts in that moment? Any coach will tell you, hey, get back on defense. And in a sense, they are correct. You do have to get back on defense because in a sense, you have to learn that you have another opportunity to be able to get the ball again, right? But in that moment, if you feel like, okay, I've missed the layup, oh my God, I'm such a failure, saying, negative self-talk, right? Going through that cycle of negative self-talk, being able to communicate that and know when you make mistakes, like, what does that mean for you? Like, how do you feel? Because I can tell you all day it's not the end of the world. But if you're not able to own up to that and speak up about how it makes you feel in those moments, then you're not going to be receptive of what I'm saying or what anyone is saying that's trying to help and encourage you to get back down there, get the ball, and keep going. Wow. And so it's truly as simple as that sounds. It is very hard because as an athlete, you are in a zone, right? And you are thinking about a number of things at the same time. You're thinking about your coach, you're thinking about your parent, you're thinking about your teammates, you're thinking about, right, how you can be the best athlete that you can be. And sometimes it's just, you can be the best athlete you can be and still lose a game. You can do your part and your teammate still make a decision that's not okay. But at the same time, just understanding that it is a game. As serious as sports is, and I get it when you got playoffs and championships and all those things on the line, I get it. Especially state championships here in Texas.
That's right.
It's pretty serious, right? But it also should be an exciting time for you. Sports should be fun. And I don't mean getting out there and kind of just treat it as an all-star game in a sense, but but it still should be fun. It still should be something that you show up to do and you want to do it and you want to put your best foot forward. And a big majority of that is making sure that mentally you are okay, and as well as the physical aspect. I say all the time, there's so many coaches out here that specialty coaches is what I call them. Your strength and conditioning coaches, your speed and agility coaches, like all those things are great, but you can have all of that and still not have everything together or be mentally stable. And none of that matters. And you can still get out there and still not be your best because mentally you're trying to jump over an obstacle or a hurdle that you're just not aware of that you have.
As they say in church, that'll preach. That's so good. Wow, you've dropped so many nuggets, and I feel like if I'm a parent and I'm listening or watching this, I'm thinking about how I can check in better with my kid, with my athlete or athletes, and then most importantly, maybe how I can get in contact with someone like you. So, how can people contact you if they're interested in learning more about your services or your work in general?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have a fully functioning website. It is www.thementalcoach.org.
Okay.
I am also on Instagram, which is at underscore the mental coach. I have to think about it. I'm like, do I have the underscore or not? And then I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter,
Mhm.
same handle at underscore the mental coach. In addition to that, and I failed to mention, I also have a YouTube page because I've done a podcast. I have one.
Okay.
And what that honestly, all I've done is sat down real comfortably, such as this setting, and just talk to athletes and coaches
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
what mental health means to them and how they have been able to navigate their journey and what it looked like and what it looks like now and how
Mhm.
they can incorporate that
Mhm.
into their sports journey. And so that podcast is called The Sit Down. But those are all the ways you can get in contact with me. My email is also attached. So if you can't navigate the website, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. Sometimes it's a lot easier.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
contact me at either one of those platforms. So
That's awesome. Well, please do that. Take her up on that because it's a community and a village that helps your student athletes become the best versions of themselves. I want to switch gears just a little bit before we wrap up and talk about the WNBA. Is that
okay,
okay?
yeah, absolutely.
So WNBA is popping right now for lots of different reasons. What's your thoughts right now on the current state of the WNBA?
I love the way that the W has grown. I love the community of it. Obviously, there are ups and downs in any major organization, and so obviously we see a lot more of the downs, kind of hit in headlines more than we see the positive part. But I love the new collective bargaining agreements. I
Mm.
love how these women literally just kind of put their foot down and was like, nope, we deserve more, and they demanded it, and
Mhm.
they got it.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna be honest with you, I never thought that I would live to see that.
Mhm.
Probably the world didn't
Yeah.
didn't see that, but at the same time, I've always said, even before I became an agent, I've always said that they deserve
Mhm.
more, and they
Mhm.
deserve more in so many areas.
Yeah.
I think that the W, truthfully, again, has continued to grow in a positive way. I love how they play. I love how each player is different, but
Mhm.
they are there for the same reason, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Same
Yeah.
goal, but they're all different in their own way. And I most importantly am so happy. I'm looking directly into this camera that the Houston Comets are returning. I
Oh.
cannot wait. I was a huge, or am a huge fan
Mhm.
of the Houston Comets.
Yeah.
Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, hey, that whole team.
Yeah.
Like I
Tina
love
Thompson.
Tina Thompson,
Yeah.
like truthfully,
Mhm.
everyone.
Mhm.
I love all of those women, and I'm so glad that most of them are still here to be able to see this comeback. So I'm
Mhm.
excited. Houston is really about to be popping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love all of the attention in the press that they're getting right now to get that organization back. So super excited to see what that's going to bring for this city.
That's so awesome. I'm so glad you brought up the comments because that was going to be my next question is, are you excited for the comments to be
Oh
coming
yeah.
back? But obviously you are.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I am a Rockets fan. Akeem Olajuwon is my favorite player of all
All right.
time.
The dream.
Yeah, yeah. I still have my Houston Rockets jersey that I wore for picture day in fifth grade. I still have that jersey. So,
Wow.
and it was their original colors, the red with the yellow and
Yeah.
the white trim.
Uh-huh.
So I love it. And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I cannot wait.
That's awesome. Well, as we get ready to wrap up, I'd like to know if you have any words out there for maybe the little girl specifically that sees the WNBA and wants to maybe be a part of it one day, or even the athlete that's just inspired to do more but has this block they can't get over. What would you say to any of those that's listening?
Yeah, absolutely. So I say to any young lady that's out there that sees the WNBA as such a far goal, and even if you are second guessing yourself, just as much as possible, stop doing that. If you want it, I say go get it. Social media is good in a sense to where you can connect with some of anyone honestly from your own home. And so allow your parents to help you to connect with right people, and just continue to work hard. If you're not working hard, and if you're not truly putting in the work, honestly, you won't get there. So it doesn't matter how much you connect with someone, if you're not putting in the work and just remaining just disciplined in what it is that you are wanting to do, it's not going to happen. So just know that it doesn't happen without you. So it doesn't matter who you meet along the way. It doesn't matter who you connect along the way. Those connections are great, but if you are not a part of it, the journey, then it won't happen. So that should be hopefully some encouragement for you to understand that it doesn't matter who you put around you, it doesn't matter who you connect with. It's all about what you want to do. And so if you're not feeling it, you don't feel comfortable with it, or if you feel like, hey, I want to take that chance, then by all means, I say go and do it. Being an agent, I know a lot of times, in particular, we're kind of just looked at as just the people that kind of come in and just negotiate the money, right? But that is a lot of the reason why I developed the platform that I have, because I want to be able to connect with you as a person. I don't want you to just see me as someone that's just trying to just come in and just negotiate your contract. Like, I want to make sure that mentally you're okay. I want to make sure that you have supports around you. If I'm, in a sense, representing you, and you have nowhere to go for holidays, I want you to come to my house, right? So I want to be able to support you, because it can get very lonely out there, in this world of sports, and really in any journey that you're on, but for sure in the world of sports. So being able to be around people that will definitely support you and not just focus on what you can do for them is going to be super important. But again, it doesn't happen with you. And one thing that I often tell a lot of the athletes that I work with, and I believe it and I live by it personally, is progress has no measuring stick. So your progress is not supposed to look like someone else's. So if you feel like someone is shining right now, let them shine. Still continue to do your work. Don't be upset with them. Look at how you can learn from them. But just know that your time is coming. As long as you put in the work, your time is coming.
Wow. Dropped some heat right there. I mean, like, what a way to close us out. Thank you, Brooke. This has been an amazing episode, I would say. Hopefully
you.
somebody out there is listening to this and is inspired, whether that's inspired to be a better athlete or inspired to take a risk and become a better version or a bigger version of yourself. I think you embodying that with the many different things that you're touching. So thank you so much for that. And for those that are listening, continue to listen to the Limitless Podcast. And for those that are looking for someone to support them on their sports journey, whether that's a mental health professional or even just WNBA representation, maybe you're not there yet, but maybe you need to get your stuff together and you need to know who to talk to. I think you got a good person right here in Ms. Hogg. So thank you so much. Hopefully you can check us out on the next episode and continue to listen and support the Limitless Podcast. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one.